Okay, so we're starting out today to learn how to do manual firing with the Mercury Pyro system. So when you turn the key to on, after 30 seconds you'll see the splash screen, and then you'll see this radar go around, which is showing how it's building the mesh. So the field modules will appear in as they are being formed, however many modules you have. So we have, once the radar is done, you get these three possible choices here: manual fire, scripted fire, advanced. We're going to select manual fire with our buttons here. We can navigate up, down. This is the enter for the buttons. We also have a trackball here where you can move the cursor around, and then this is the enter for the trackball. So probably the best way to learn how to navigate is to just play around with it and see how it works and get feel. I use a combination of these two in order to run the thing, but it's a question of what you feel comfortable with. There's also a USB connection right here. You can plug a mouse in there if you like navigating with a typical sort of computer mouse better. That's your choice. And then so we're going to select manual fire here, and what comes up are our two modules, which have addresses 2 and 3. So this left screen part of this half of the screen shows which modules are available, and the right shows which are actively going to be used in the show. So what we're going to do here is select this guy with our select button here, and our choices are create new group with module. So that then moves over to the right. Notice it moved from the left to the right. That was our number 2. And then we're going to do the same thing with number 3. Now our choice, we could move it to group G1, and what that would do is when we were sequentially firing, both module 2 and 3 would fire at the same time in, say, position 1, 2, 3 as we move through there. In this case, we have 7 light bulbs in each field module, so we're going to sequence through those. Okay, so what we want to do then is for our module 3, again using these up-down buttons, create new group with module. So notice our module 3 is in group G2. So these are 2 independent groups now. So that means they're going to fire independently. So if the next step is to arm the field modules, so we do that by going from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and you notice that armed comes up here. We're going to do the same thing with this guy. Okay, he's armed now. Just turn the key. And then we're going to go over here, and first thing we'll do is do continuity before we arm. We're going to select this guy, and we're going to go over here to number 2, and we'll say continuity. Okay. Now, if we wanted to identify that module, that was another choice. We could do that as well. We go over here and we say which one's number 2. Notice, and he flashes his light yellow, red, green. Do the same thing for number 3 by moving down, navigating down, selecting field for 3 twice, then we get continuity. Okay, and we get the same result where he is showing 7 green lights with the first 7 in the sequence. Okay, so now that we've done continuity, we can move over to the right and click this arm box, and notice that the box is red for number 3. That means it's going to begin firing with number 3. So we don't want that to happen. We want it to begin with number 2. So we're going to change the selection from 3 to 2. Very important. Otherwise, you'll start firing on module 3. If you want to fire, you want to begin firing on your lower address module, assuming you want to do that. It's probably best to lay out your show for this sort of simple situation where you sequence from the lowest module to the highest module. Okay, so the next step, so now I've armed over here, I've armed my 2 remotes, sorry, my field modules rather, and now I'm going to arm the system with key switch here. Now on the Premier field controllers, 10 o'clock is off, 12 o'clock is on, and 2 o'clock is armed. So notice that when I do that, I've got the first 7 keys are lit up green. The remainder are red, meaning that I've got shots available on the first 7. So here I can begin firing at this point. So I'm all armed and ready to go. So if I start firing now, I'll fire module 2, which is the one nearest to me. So I'll do that by pressing button number 1, then I'll press button number 2. Notice there was a flash. And what has happened is that the color has changed on the ones that fired from green to purple. Now when you're firing an electric match, that color will change to black rather than purple. The purple means there's still some resistance there. There's still something plugged in, meaning the light bulb hasn't burned out, it just flashed, it's still there. But when you're firing an electric match, that color will be black. So I can go through at this point and fire the remaining shots. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I've fired all the shots in module number 2. I'm going to switch over to module number 3. Now notice, if I had started the show from number 2 and I just went and hit fire, it would fire all 7 in module number 2, skip these red ones here, and then continue with module 3 and fire those 7 as the next. So I can sequentially move through those, and that's what I would recommend for doing a simple sequential show like that. So but since we've started firing, selecting an individual module, now we're going to navigate our way down from 2 to 3, select that guy, and now our buttons are green again. We can go fire field module 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and notice that those have gone from green to blue. So that's about how it works.